guess I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Jake Hancock. Yeah, here's my confession. You tend to remember the first time you man cry. I don't mean like baby tears, I mean like real adult tears. And I'm not, or at least I wasn't a crier. So I feel like it stood out. I was at my college football senior banquet. This was supposed to be my swan song. The night they were celebrating all the seniors, celebrating our team. It's fun, it's unique, it's impactful, hopefully. And it's probably not when you think you'd cry. They just announced that I'd won the MVP, which is crazy. I'm an offensive lineman. Like we don't win those things. And I had this senior speech prepared. The plan was to kind of tip my cap to how awesome football had been, how much I'd learned, how much I've grown as like a man, as a competitor. But all of it meant nothing because my identity wasn't ever built on football. It was built on Jesus. Like, and I was gonna tell these people, hey, there's a Jesus that loves you and can fulfill the deepest needs that football will never be able to fill. I remember being convinced people's lives were gonna change. But I couldn't even get through the speech because I couldn't stop crying.
That night was a mess. I was really crying, big, gross alligator tears. And it was pretty obvious why I was so emotional. My words and my actions weren't lining up. I was saying my identity was firmly in Christ and not in football, but I didn't actually believe that. I was saying that Jesus was the source of my identity, but really I was grieving the loss of my actual identity. I was no longer going to be a football player, no longer be able to do the one thing that I knew that I was awesome at. I think we're all searching for meaning, value, identity, and purpose. And if you're at all like me, you tend to find it in things that you're good at. Man, I get the best grades. I'm awesome at football. I've had so many solo victories on Fortnite. All of my siblings, of all my siblings, my parents like me the most because I listen the best. I have the best handwriting. I'm the best looking. I'm the most athletic. I'm the funniest person I know. And all of those things are fine things, but those things, the things we've built our life around, our identity around, what happens when those things get taken away? Will we still matter? When we no longer can do the thing we've put all of our time and energy and passion into, what do we place our identity in? I think this identity crisis is why I had these crocodile tears. Football, the thing I'd placed my entire identity in, was being taken away, and I wasn't sure if I could handle it. And that's kind of the problem, isn't it? If we believe that I am what I do, what happens when what I do gets ripped away from me? When I break my leg, when I graduate college, when I get rejected, when I fail that test. When I fail, instead of being able to recover, I'm crushed because I didn't just fail at something, I'm a failure. What if there's a better way? What if you didn't need to be held captive by your performance, by how good you are at something? Could you imagine the freedom, the confidence that you could take with you? I think that's what's at stake. We've found this fake identity and its performance. We were never meant to earn our value and our own worth through our performance. So let's recognize what actually is real, recognize what we're actually called to do. This is what Paul says in Ephesians. For it is by grace you've been saved, through faith. And this is not from yourselves. It is a gift from God, not by works, so that no one can boast. Your identity doesn't have to be attached to how good you are at things. You are saved through faith, and that faith is not your doing, it's God's doing. He gifts you identity, not by your performance, but because he loves you. Now, what if you really believed that? Wouldn't that be a better way to live? I think it would be. But crushing this performance identity is often way harder than just saying you have a problem and believing you're saved by grace. This is the thing that I still have to fight every single day. And here's what I want to do for the next few minutes. I just want to give you 3 quick things that I think will help you practically fight back against this performance identity. And here's the first thing. It's just pray often. Here's what it says in the Bible. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things, God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. This is in 1 Peter. What's crazy about this performance identity is it often makes you stress out about the things you love doing the most. I loved football, but I was so stressed before every single game because what if I mess up? What if I fail? Then I won't matter. I'll be a failure. How awful is that? What if instead, before you were doing something you love, you actually slowed down enough and to just simply pray, to pause and reflect and remind yourself that your identity is centered in God's grace and not by how awesome I'm going to do at this football game. So here's what I want for you guys. The first way to defeat this performance identity is to simply just pray often. Here's the second thing, cheer loud. Here's what it says in the Bible. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. This is in Philippians. Another thing that sucks about the performance ID is that you often have a hard time celebrating other people who are good at stuff. Like, I can't be happy for that kid getting 100% on the test because that means that he beat me by 2 whole percent. And so I must not matter because I'm not the best person in this class at school. And like, sure, I could cheer for my buddy who plays basketball because I don't play basketball, but I can't actually be happy for the other dudes that play football with me because they may take my spot. I couldn't possibly cheer for them. What if actually, though, I got excited for people around me? There's something crazy about humbly cheering for people. I think it reframes your priorities. Instead of being full of pride and comparison and mean-spirited competition, you can be reminded that you're secure in God's grace, that you are loved by God in a way that allows you to actually love others. If we want to fight back against this performance identity, we need to free ourselves to lift others up instead of always trying to prove that we're the best. So pray often, cheer loudly, and lastly, it's just this, risk bold. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. When we're so consumed by our performance identity, we often find ourselves doing one of two things a lot. We do this. When we do poorly at something, we say something like, this didn't even matter, or who cares? It's just a big deflection. So people don't think we did bad at something we were actually trying at. Or maybe it's not even that. Maybe you are too afraid to even try something new because what if you're going to be bad at it? It sucks because this performance-driven identity doesn't even allow us to ever be bad at something new. How will we ever find out about new fun things if we live in this fear? What if instead we risk bold, try something new, even if you may be bad at it? Because here's what's awesome. God's power is made more known when you fail. What an awesome reminder that your value isn't tied to your success. I think it's so easy for us to build our identity around our performance, but it's fake. It's going to let you down. What if we built our identity on God's grace for us and not just our performance? If we did, we could be students that have the type of strong identity you can build a life on. Let's reject the performance identity by standing firmly on His grace, praying often, cheering loudly, and risking bold.